Well, hello everyone and welcome to Momentum channel. My name is Mo, and in this video, we're going to be going over our stock market investment portfolio that we had with Wealthsimple Trade. We'll be reviewing what stocks and ETFs we bought and sold in the stock market last week, as well as the dividend income that we've received so far in the months. As you notice, this portfolio is mainly consists of 3 accounts: personal non-registered account, our RSP registered retirement savings plan, and tax-free savings account. Majority of the funds are in our personal account. We do also have a smaller portion of funds in our crypto account, currently having the size of around $1,600. Looking at the specific stocks and ETFs that we bought and sold last week in the market, you do notice we had some buys of shares of VDY, several of them that we bought at different prices, hovering around that $41 and change. We also bought several shares of VFV, or Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF, giving us exposure in Canadian dollars to the US S&P 500. We did sell our shares of V. We did sell our entire shares, including 310 shares and some fractional shares. Instead, we wanted to get exposure to the emerging markets through the XEC fund. That's why we started buying some shares of XEC. We picked up 20 shares at the price of $25.08. And then later on during the week, we bought 1 share of XEC at the price of $25.15. Gradually, we want to buy more shares of XEC as time goes by. We also did sell our shares of NEO. We sold it at the market sell. It was at negative return for us, I believe over 70% plus. We just wanted to get rid of this fund and instead maintain our exposure to the stocks that we have to only a handful of them. Currently, our exposure to stocks in this portfolio is only to 4 different stocks, mainly Tesla, Amazon, Google, and Apple. Those are the 4 stocks that we have. Other than that, the rest of the holdings is only in 5 different ETFs, index funds, all of them. And we're going to take a look at them quickly, just so that you have a perspective of those ones. The way that these accounts are showcased are broken down by Canadian portion of the account as well as US dollar account, given that we have a Wealthsimple Plus account. On the Canadian portion of it, you do notice the entire 5 ETFs that I've talked to you about, and these are the ones. The largest holding across our entire accounts is VDY, or Vanguard FTSE Canadian High Dividend Yield Index ETF. What's so unique about VDY is that it gives us exposure to about 50 high-quality Canadian dividend-paying stocks, and they currently, these funds, this index fund actually pays a dividend yield hovering around that 4.4% annually. The dividends or distributions from VFV are paid though on a monthly basis. So almost every month we collect dividend income from VDY. We do have this fund across our several accounts. For example, you do notice we have around 2,100 shares in our personal account, around 716 shares in our tax-free savings account, as well as another 152 shares in our RSP account. Then going back, our second big holding here is VFV, or Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. Gives us, as the name suggests, exposure to the S&P 500 in the US stock market. We have these shares in our personal account, around 621 shares. Tax-free savings account, we have around 210 shares. And lastly, in our RSP account, approximately 151 shares that we have here. With VFV, its main focus is on growth. It's not really geared towards dividend. However, it does pay some dividend distributions on a quarterly basis. It currently has an annual yield of 1.32%. Our next big holding here when it comes to ETFs is to XEF. We have currently around $10,000 invested in it. It's iShares Core MSCI East and Far East IMI Index ETF. It's a product offered by BlackRock, the ticker symbol XEF. We currently have 300 shares of them, and it's up by 9.3%. With XEF, it does pay its dividend distributions on a biannual basis, with an annual yield currently at 2.70%. And as I pointed out, we did sell our shares of V and instead start to pick up shares of BlackRock Canada iShares Core MSCI Emerging Markets IMI with ticker symbol XEC. We currently have 21 shares. It's up slightly by a fraction of a point, around 0.31%. With XEC, it is also paying you your dividend distributions on a biannual basis. Currently, it's showing an annual yield of 2.20%. And Lastly, of course, we have shares of XIC. With XIC, you get exposure to the entire Canadian stock market. It's BlackRock, iShares Core, S&P, Toronto Stock Exchange, Capped, Composite Index ETF. XIC does pay its distributions on quarterly basis and has an annual yield of 3.10%. If we hover over to RSP portion, you do see we have 20 shares of Apple, and that's the entire shares that we have in this portfolio. We have 59 shares of Amazon, and this is the entirety of it here. For our shares of Amazon, they're up just by a fraction of a point, whereas the Apple shares are up close to 11%. And Tesla, we have 28 shares here in our RSP account. I pointed out we had 5 of them in our non-registered account. And lastly, we have around 28 more shares in our tax-free savings account. We have shares of Google, and that's the one that you would be able to see in our tax-free savings account. So if I hover over to our USD portion of our TFSA account, you do notice we have the shares of Tesla that I talked about, but also 45 shares of Google that's currently up by close to 9.3%. If you look at the recent dividend income that we have collected through this portfolio, you do notice VFV paid us a dividend amount recently. It does pay its dividend quarterly, and recently it was paid in early April. We collected in all close to that $300 in dividend income from VFV. And earlier on, just at the end of last month, we collected around $50 in dividend income from XIC. By the way, we also expect to collect some dividend income shortly, most likely within a few days, from VDY. And as I pointed out, VDY does pay its dividend distributions on a monthly basis, and we are expecting to collect some nice dividend income from VDY, given that we have quite a decent number of shares of VDY currently in our portfolio. I believe over 3,000 shares in total, and the dividend income for that is going to be something of quite interest for us. As you might have noticed, this portfolio mainly consists of high-quality ETFs that gives us exposure to Canada, US, international, emerging markets. We also have a handful of stocks that are mainly geared towards growth, mostly in the information technology sector, and mainly we are intending to keep them here for the longer term. The focus here is both on dividend growth as well as the appreciation growth in terms of the value of the stocks and ETFs. This is our portfolio, our main portfolio, in fact, that we have focused towards reaching that financial independence and financial freedom in the years to come. I would love to hear from you. Are you currently invested in the stock market? And if you are, what stocks or ETFs form the highest position in your portfolios? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video and gained something of value from it, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate that, and it helps the channel to grow and for us to be able to spread our words and content to other clients and other folks out there that might be of interest in this type of quality videos that we produce here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here on Momentum Finance, we post every week videos about investing, including investing in the stock market, consisting of dividend stocks, growth stocks, ETFs. We also talk about ways to reach financial freedom. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next time.